The feeling that your existence has no importance in this world is something that could make you feel useless and uninteresting. This is when you start to get jealous of the people around you. This is the story that contains a character just like this. This very feeling is what makes him cause a catastrophic situation in the whole city. Let's see how he goes about it and how is he stopped. Welcome to Monster Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2016 film Colossal. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts in the dead of the night, and we see a little girl looking for her doll in a park. She suddenly spots a monster walking through the building, and it scares the crap out of her, and she screams in fear. The scene then changes as a beautiful girl named Gloria returns to her apartment, and she's still hungover from all the drinking last night. Her boyfriend seems visibly pissed off, and he's been waiting for her. Upon being asked where she's been, she tells him a fake story, saying she got late at the party and went with her friend. The girl is nothing but pathetic, as she has no job and she stays home all day doing nothing but watching TV. Her boyfriend seems to be sick of her messed up life. The boy tells her that he really likes her, but he has had enough of it. He then asks her to just leave the apartment, as he does not want to live with her anymore. Gloria is shocked to see that she's being kicked out of the apartment by her own boyfriend. He tells her that all of her stuff has been packed and she better be out of there by the time he gets back from work. Gloria now has no choice but to return to her childhood home in Maidenhead, New Hampshire. That place seems like it's been abandoned for a long time. There's no bed in there, so she sleeps on the floor that night. The first thing she does in the morning is buy an air mattress. As she drags the mattress home, she runs into her childhood friend named Oscar. Oscar is happy to see her back in town, and they go to his bar. A bar is not the place she should be in, as she's been trying to stay away from drinking. Oscar introduces her to his friends, and while he offers her a beer, she ends up drinking it after unsuccessfully trying to resist it. Well, Gloria ends up getting hammered. Oscar tells his friends that back in school, Gloria always used to win the short story writing competition, and Oscar was always in second place. Gloria tells him that she does not write that anymore. She's into magazine articles now. As they chat, Oscar's friend Joel tries to kiss Gloria, and Oscar freaks out seeing that. He grabs his keys and gets out of there. Gloria, on the other hand, takes her air mattress back to her house. She unpacks the air mattress, and while she does that, she dozes off. When she's asleep, she dreams that she's a little girl who's in a forest, as the sky starts to get dark and thunders of the clouds can be heard. As she's dreaming that, she receives a call from her sister and wakes up. Her sister tells her that a giant monster attacked Seoul City last night. Gloria is shocked to hear this, and she right away goes on the internet to search for it herself. And there it is, the monster terrorizing the whole city. She calls Tim to ask about it, and he ends up asking her to seek professional help, as he figures out that she was drinking the whole night, which is why she's getting to hear it just now. The next night, Gloria gets drunk again and falls asleep at her elementary school playground. When she goes home in the morning, Oscar appears with an old TV in her living room and mentions that the monster was in the city yet again. He tells her that he did not move around last night. Instead, he just stood in one place and made unusual hand gestures. Oscar then shows her the video of the monster's first appearance that was 25 years ago. While she's setting up the TV Oscar brought her, he asks her if she remembers anything from last night. She tells him that she does not remember anything. Of course she does not. We learn that when Gloria told Oscar about her bad financial situation, he offered her a job at the bar, and she agreed to do it. Gloria accepts the job yet again, and gives Oscar a hug, as he's been really nice to her. On TV, she notices that the monster scratches his head the same way she does when she's nervous. When she sees further footage of the monster on TV, she can't help but notice that the monster's on the phone just like she was last night. She then goes on to search it on the internet and finds footage where it looks like the monster is tugging something on his shoulder, just like she was tugging that air mattress that night. That night, Gloria takes a piece of paper and goes to the playground. She compares the map of Seoul to the structure of the playground. After that, the monster does not appear in the city. All the people in the news try to figure out his unusual movements and gestures when he showed up the last time. One of Oscar's friends in a drunken state says that it looks like the monster is being controlled by someone through a remote or something. They say that the monster is always moving forward, but it never pauses to look down. Gloria, on the other hand, has been trying to formulate her theories, and charts the maps of Seoul, and she looks closely at how the monster moves and what gestures it makes. She decides to go to the elementary school playground one day while she's totally sober. She takes the map of Seoul with her as well, and she steps onto the ground exactly at 8:05. She does not move forward from her place and just raises her arms over her head before she gets home. When she turns on the TV to see if the monster appeared, well, it sure did. The monster does not move forward. He just stands and raises his arms over his head, just like Gloria did. She starts to think that she's the monster. She calls Tim to tell him that she's got a job, and before she can say something else, Oscar and his friends arrive and they bring a sofa for her. Gloria then goes to work, and after work that night, while all of her friends are drinking, Gloria decides to tell them her secret. She asks the group to go to the playground with her and pull out a live feed of Seoul. When they're watching Seoul live on their screens, she steps into the playground and starts dancing. The monster shows up in Seoul and makes the exact movements Gloria makes. The security forces in Seoul fire missiles at the monster, and Gloria feels the pain in her body. She then punches just in the air, and, well, a helicopter is of course destroyed at the hands of the monster. At that moment, she realizes that she's just killed whoever it was in that helicopter. She starts freaking out, and her foot slips and she falls. The next thing we see, she's waking up in her house to the sound of destruction on her TV. As she wakes up, Oscar shows up at her house with groceries in his hand. Gloria right away freaks out, asking him how many people she killed last night. She tells him that she's just going to turn herself into the police because she's a monster. Oscar, however, grabs her and calms her down. He then gives her the newspaper, and she sees that when the monster fell, a robot monster appeared in Seoul. We learn that the robot monster was actually Oscar himself, who went into the playground to check in on Gloria when she collapsed on the ground. With this revelation, they go to a diner to have breakfast and think about what it's all about. They now conclude that the monsters are just connected to Gloria and Oscar, and Gloria says that when the monster appeared in Seoul 25 years ago, it must have been when Gloria walked through the playground of her elementary school. 25 years ago, it did not used to be a playground. It used to be a construction site with a lot of trees in the area. She then remembers the time when she was walking to her school one day. Oscar was walking behind her, and they both had their respective projects in their hands. The next morning, both of them go to the playground yet again, and wait for it to be 8:05 a.m. While they sit there, they have some time to kill, and Oscar goes on to confess that he's been following her career ever since she left. Well, we'll talk about that later, as it is already 8:05, and Gloria steps into the playground. This time, she tries to make amends by having the monster spell out an apology in Korean, to the delight of the South Korean people and media. She begins to avoid both the playground and alcohol. That night, Gloria watches the whole footage on TV, where the monster promises never to come back and apologizes for the destruction he's caused. After work, Gloria and her friends hang out, and Joel goes to the bathroom. Gloria follows him there, and he tells everyone that he's going to take off early. Gloria also follows him to his house, and they sleep together. After spending the night with Joel, Gloria discovers a drunken Oscar controlling the robot to taunt South Korea. Gloria goes back to Joel, and both of them right away go to the playground. As they get there, they see that Oscar is all drunk and walking around in the playground. Gloria right away confronts him and asks him why he's doing all this, and he tells her at least his monster's not killing other people, as hers did. Gloria gets into the playground and asks him to get out of there right away. Oscar does not listen to her, and Gloria, unable to control herself, goes on to slap him. When they're at work that evening, Oscar tries to act normal, but he's not that good an actor, as he's visibly upset. His robot being slapped by Gloria's monster is all over the place. This is the talk of the town. He has also been suspecting that there's something going on between Joel and Gloria. Oscar's upset, so he seems to be butting heads with everyone as he calls out his friend Garth for being a cocaine addict, and we also get to know that Gloria has not been drinking for the last few days, and Oscar asks her to have a beer. When she refuses, he asks her to drink it or else he'll go to the playground. Gloria grabs the beer and pours it down to the ground. Oscar right away goes out, and as he gets into his car to go to the playground, Gloria tries to stop him, but he seems extremely pissed off at her as he tells her that, for once, his life is as amazing as hers. Both of them end up in the playground at 8:05, and they get into a fight. Gloria tries to quit her job, but Oscar tells her to show up or else he'll destroy the whole town. They then go home. Later, Joel appears with nice furniture sent by Oscar. Gloria goes to Oscar's house and sees his own house as a mess. He apologizes to her and asks her if they can be friends, and she agrees. Tim arrives in town to see Gloria, but is irritated by and dismissive about her life situation before apologizing. Upon meeting Tim at the bar, Oscar provokes a confrontation by setting off fireworks indoors. Tim tries to get Gloria to leave with him, but she stays to curb Oscar's destructive behavior. Oscar later goes to her house to prevent her from going back with Tim. Tim, on the other hand, leaves an ultimatum for Gloria as he tells her that he's leaving town tomorrow and expects her to be there. A flashback reveals Gloria made a paper diorama of Seoul as a school project. When it is blown into what would later become the playground, Oscar retrieves it, but jealous that it's better than his, smashes it. Gloria's anger triggers lightning that strikes them, Oscar's toy robot, and her toy reptilian monster. Back in the present, Gloria recognizes Oscar's manipulative behavior arises from his self-hatred at never amounting to anything, with the robot his way to feel important. She resolves to leave town with Tim. Gloria and Oscar race for the playground. She arrives first and attempts to fight him, but he incapacitates her and destroys a large portion of Seoul, killing many people. He says Gloria is free to leave if she wishes, but every morning she remains absent, he'll take a walk through the playground. She resolves to leave and flies to South Korea. Gloria apologizes over the phone to Tim for not going with him, but insists she owes him no explanations as he had ended their relationship. At 8:05 a.m. in the US, Oscar follows through on his threat and makes the giant robot manifest in Seoul. Gloria walks towards it in Seoul, making her monster appear at the playground back home. Her monster catches Oscar and flings him far over the horizon, causing the robot to disappear, presumably for good. Gloria retreats to a bar and asks the bartender if she would like to hear an incredible story. After being offered a drink, Gloria sighs. This is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.